So it's just come to my attention that Chris Eubank Jr. has posted a video on social media showing his house being burgled. So it appears that he's just got back from America. He's just got home, walked in his house. He's walking through his house with his phone and he's showing everyone his back door glass has been smashed, his bedroom's been trashed, beds turned over, had a couple of expensive shoes taken and whatnot. And it's sad, you know, he's worked very hard for where he is right now. And the last thing you want is to lose your items, even though I'm sure you could probably afford to replace most of it with maybe with insurance and whatnot, but still not the point. You don't want no one going into your house, into your private area and just sort of like violating you. The reason I'm posting this video is not or should I say producing this video, is not to sort of like to be gossip like, or not to even like gloat and be like, oh, look at this show off, look at him, look at what's happened to him. It's more just to point out to young athlete prospects and even like celebrities who are just getting into the game that when you become high profile, jealous ones envy, you know, and you've got to kind of watch how you do things. You need to have like a risk assessment put in place of how you're going to secure yourself and your property and your loved ones. So let's take it back to keep it on boxing. Let's take it back to the 25th of July 2009. So Vernon Forrest, who former champion, the first boxer to beat Sugar Shane Mosley, he was robbed at gunpoint in Atlanta. He was at a fuel station, robbed by 2 or 3 guys. He had his stepson with him, his stepson or his godson, according to the news reports. They fled. Once they fled, he chased them with a gun, chased them down, and he ended up getting shot and he was killed. So he was murdered 2009, July 25th. And I remember a couple of years later watching a Floyd Mayweather Jr. documentary or an interview, and they was asking me, they were saying, why have you always got like a big entourage around you? And he was saying, well, I always carry security around me. He said, because, you know, look at what happened to Vernon Forrest the other day. You can never be too careful. Do you know what I mean? So shout out to Mayweather for obviously like making sure that you've always got a lot of people around you, so they're gonna sort of be like a deterrent, you know. I remember back in the early 80s, late 70s, Muhammad Ali would have Mr. T as a bodyguard around him. I'm not sure who else was around him. Yeah, so that's the main point really, is to ensure that you put the right predicaments in place to cover any potential risk. And if it's your house, if it's like closed circuit TV, a dog, an alarm. I'm not a celebrity, so I can't say what you should have, but you really need to look into what you should have. And at the same time, you know, if you do get burgled and you notice the burglar, don't show any sort of like fidelity to the cause where you have to go and try and chase that person, whatever. That's not your job. Let the law do that, or let your security team deal with that, because you don't want to end up getting hurt really bad or losing a life, because then that becomes irrevocable. Well, you can't bring that back. You know. I also remember if you guys are into soccer, football, years ago, Steven Gerrard, his mansion got burgled as well. I believe that's in Liverpool. So you really got to watch yourself. And I guess also you got to bear in mind that in life you have people that, you know, they work really hard. They may be luckier than others because they're in a field, they're good in their field, which is like a footballer, a boxer, when you may have someone else who's good in their field, like a doctor, and the athlete is going to make way more money than the doctor. But that's how life goes. You know, there's a bit of luck there, but also you pick your industry in which you go into. But on the flip side, you're going to have people who, you know, who are been into crime all their life, and they don't look at the world how we look at it. They don't look at it like, oh well, he works really hard for his money, and good and bad. Some of these guys look at it like, well, we never had this opportunity, so we're not blessed. So because we're not blessed, we have to find our own way of making our money. And they may, you know, I'm not a hardcore criminal, but they may see it as what they're doing as right. Just as you're going out and winning your title, you know, your WBC title or your Premiership soccer title, whatever. They may think, well, it's right for me to go and do this burglary and get this money and feed my family. Or you also get people who are just addicted to crime because they started doing it at a young time, and like any other habit, you know, once you start it and you keep doing it, it's hard to break. And then you get just some plain right devils who don't have no thought process. They just want to do wrong things. You know what I mean? So life ain't fair, and life ain't easy at times. But once again, the message is, you know, protect yourself at all times. Whatever security measurement you got to put in place, put that in place. Very short video. I'll leave a link below to the Vernon Forest murder that happened a few years ago. ESPN covered it. But have a good day, have a good evening. Bless.